Greetings, I'm Zorch. Welcome to my Snowdonia playthrough experiment. This is day 5, and this is the Mount Wasington scenario. This scenario is very much like base Snowdonia, except this one has snow in it. There's a new deck of contract cards, and also we get to use my favorite train in all of the game called Old Peppersass. I don't know anything about it, but I know I love that name. And I also really like the special power it gives me. It lets me build into station spaces for one less rock. There's actually a special weather overlay for this scenario, but you don't use it in the solo game. Dynamite makes a comeback in this scenario, but it's not a resource like it was in the Jungfraubahn scenario. This time, it takes the place of the Move the Surveyor action. Whenever a worker is placed on it, it will excavate at the normal work rate. However, the first rubble removal that happens will be like a dynamite action where it removes all of the rubble off of a space. Since we're going to be dealing with snow, we're going to be dealing with adding cubes back onto the board again, like we did in the last scenario. And because of this, we won't be placing the extra build action space whenever all the cubes are dug out. Again, because all the snow could pile back on again. It's actually a little bit more dire this time around because we'll be adding 2 cubes back to every space instead of just the work rate. I played this scenario once before with my wife, and we got into kind of an argument over how the snow would work, and I shelled it and hadn't played it since. So we'll see how it goes this time. Since there's no surveyor action, and he starts over at this end instead of down on the start station like they normally do, and the last round of the game, right before scoring, the surveyor is actually going to slide down into the last station where you have an ownership cube. So if you had an ownership cube here, here, and here, but not on these 2 spaces, he would move down to this station and then you would collect the points there. Since there aren't many track cards around, you would think this would be a short scenario, but the whole snow thing is probably going to make it last a little bit longer. Well, let's get started. I think at the very beginning I'm going to pay an extra coal to get my extra man. And I am going to grab this contract. I was eyeing this 15-spot guy here, as well as doing some digging, I believe, and also grabbing some resources. So I get a coal. I'll take both of these iron, and then I will dig out 2 cubes from this card here. Oh, actually, I noticed I missed a couple of rubble spots here. This goes here, and I'm digging that spot out. And so I get to claim it. And this guy comes home, and he brings this contract with him. And we move on to the weather. Ooh, the big 40-point contract came out. Got some rain today, and we got some snow coming out later. We do our draw. Excellent, no events. And we start again. Well, the work rate's so low, I don't think it's really worth going for that. I guess I could start doing some blasting. Might actually not be a bad idea. I'm kind of torn if I want that big 40-point contract. It's tempting. But there really isn't that much track in this game. I think I'm just going to gather resources with both of my men and see what happens. So, they both come home. And that will be 2, 1. That may not have been the best idea after all, but at least I get some more rock. That could probably give me lots of points later. On to the weather. 5 big contract. Sun on the way, but we've got our first snowfall of the game. So, when that happens, we look at the current work rate, which happens to be 1, and we start refilling stations with 2 cubes each at that number. You actually add snow into stations even if it would bring the total back above what the maximum was originally. So, I'm going to be adding 2 cubes to this spot. So now we do our draw again. Alright, no events. I know for sure I'm taking 1 person to gather. I also believe I am going to make use of this explosives And I think I'm going to convert. Let's see how that works. So, resolving, I'm going to bring back, for sure, 1 iron, 1 coal, and I think 1 rock. And I am then going to convert these 6 into 2 bars. I am then going to excavate using this guy, and the work rate's only at 1, but that's okay, because it just blows everything out of this station, and I get to claim it. So, it's not all bad. On to the weather. Well, if it's sunny the rest of the game, then I won't have to deal with any more snow. Hey, alright, I like it. So, we do our cube draws. Of course, there are spaces on here where snow will happen, so at some point I'm going to have to deal with it again. And it may be sooner rather than later. So, coal, and our first event, which excavates 3 track cards. So 1, 2, 3. And I know from experience now with snow that these spaces are not necessarily lost to me. Well, since I have it, I think this round I'm going to be laying some track, as well as building onto a station. And I am getting my extra man from down the mountain, and I will use him to gather some more resources. And I did that because I don't want to run out of iron and then lose my train. So I will then lay a piece of track, this one right here. Only 2 points, but track is track. And I am going to build onto this station for 1 rock and an iron bar. And I'll use this one for the track that I laid. That lets me place a cube. You're gonna have to grab some track contracts. Do our draw. Ouch! That's not supposed to happen. Alright, first things first, we can buy trains now, but that has no effect in the solo. Now, the game is going to lay 2 pieces of track, and that's very annoying. That's a lot of snow and a lot of track. Well, it's a good reminder to get my rear in gear. So, I will spend a coal to grab my extra worker. I will gather resources. I will build onto a station, for sure. And I might even gather some more resources. I think I might just do that. Well, the dig work rate is currently 3. I could get 1 ownership cube and then start in on that next station. I think I will. I will do that instead. Make use of that new space down there. So first, I will grab 3 iron. Actually, I will grab 2 iron and a coal. I'm doing a lot of this on the fly, in case you haven't noticed. I will next build on to this station, and I will spend 3 stone for that 10-point spot. Again, the old pepper sass lets me use 1 less rock to build anywhere. And finally, I will excavate with this guy. My first one will be a dynamite action, which blows this up and gives me ownership over that. Then it digs out 2 more cubes, and I get to keep those. And we move on to the weather. The work rate's as high as it'll go, and more sun in the future. Now we do our draw. More events. I don't want any more snow. And I think I'm going to get my extra man again and send him off to gather some resources. What to do next? I think I might grab this contract over here. I like the look of that. I think combined with old pepper sass, that could give me some pretty serious points. I think it would also be a great idea to do some more digging. Doesn't really matter if I use that space, because there's only 1 cube left on that area over there. So let's do that. I will gather. I will gather 1 coal, 1 iron, and a stone. I will then dig out 4 spaces, so that would be 1, which I get to claim, 2, 3, and 4. Finally, I will grab this contract. I'm going to have some rain now, as well as some more in the future. Draw our cubes. Bag is getting light again. It happens so fast every time. Alright, no events. Good news. And our coal. Alright. I think I am going to get my extra man. And then I am going to grab. I am going to convert. And the next question is, what's going to happen next with the weather? I really don't want this event cube to come out of here, and it shouldn't if I return a bunch to the stock. So, there's the 4.31, 4-track for 31 points. I think I might grab that one, since I don't think I'm going to be able to do the rubble this turn, so let's see how that works out. So first, I will grab 3 iron, and I will return all 9 of these for 1 iron bar. 1 iron bar, I mean 3 iron bars. That would be a terrible exchange. Then I will grab this contract, do the weather. Go to the draw. 6 cubes. Alright, good, good, good. Manipulating that draw bag is super important. I would like to use that excavate action to blow out all those cubes, but I have to do them in order. So instead I will dig and then lay some track. So I dig out at the work rate, which gets rid of these 4 cubes and adds them to my supply, which is great because that frees up both of these spaces for me to lay right now with 2 pieces of track. So here and here. Alright, you come home, move on to the weather. This special card gives you more points for whenever you slide your guy down at the end of the game. Oh, we got some snow on the way. It's kind of a shame. I was hoping we'd be able to avoid it some more. But what can you do? On to the draw. There's probably going to be, I imagine we'll get an event out of this, but you never know. Alright, it's possible. Could dodge the bullet. Ah, excellent. Very good. Although, definitely not for the next one. Alright, this time around, I think I will be picking up some goods. And next, I have to decide what to do with this other man. I'm hesitant to dig with him because I have the feeling that as soon as I do, the snow is going to land on it and it's going to fill in the space that I just dug out anyway. So, I think I'm going to actually build something. Alright, so I will grab a coal, a stone, and an iron. Then, for my build action, I am not only going to activate Old Pepper Sass, but I'm going to activate this contract card either and spend 0 stone to build into this spot right here. I don't see any rule anywhere that says I can't do that, so that does make for a short turn. Alright, looks like I have reached the end of my deck, so I will shuffle this and be right back. Alright, looks like it's going to be some sun, which puts us right back up to the top of the track again. Yeah, this is going to be the event for sure. No way around it this time. Yep. So, I am going to use that. Put these throw into the bag. That means that we're going to have a whole lot of snow, aren't we? Well, it passes both of these spots. It will add 2 snow. No, actually, these are excavated as well. If I'm understanding correctly, it will actually bypass all these spots and end up here and here. And that should be it, since everything else is claimed. Again, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm fairly certain that means I have to dig out both of these before I can start work on that track over there. We'll see how this works. I'm definitely going to dig, which will clear out both of these. And I'm going to have to think of something else to do with this particular guy. Well, I think I'll dig some more. That's a lot of digging this round, but we'll go for it. So, I'm digging out these two spaces, which is going to clear that. These two spaces, which will clear that, which means that the snow is not coming back down here again. Next, I am going to dig these three spaces and one from here. I have a lot of rubble at the end of the game. I definitely need some contract cards that take advantage of rubble and station building. Especially since I didn't grab any resources. I'm going to have to get on that, otherwise I'm going to be drawing events a lot. Of course, it may not make much of a difference, because I'm only down to 4 ownership markers. So, snow. Alright, snow. 4 spaces. So, I believe this guy gets 2. This space gets 2. Undoing all that work I just did. And that will be it, because there's no other spaces available. Yeah, I'm in a downward spiral now. The only thing left in the bag are event cubes. So, next, I'm going to have to dig the next 4 spaces. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I lose an iron bar because of the train maintenance step. And the game then lays 2 pieces of track, here and here. I think I shot myself in the foot in one of the rounds when I started to not take resources, so to rectify that, I will just take a whole bunch this turn. I will spend a coal to get my extra man. And since I've got so much rubble, might not be a bad idea to grab this contract. Yep, I will definitely be grabbing that contract. So, first, bring back both of these guys, along with 6 iron. Then I will... Yep, 6 iron. Then I will grab that contract and move on to the weather. Hey, the 40 came back. Ooh, a big 22 point here. Alright, we're going to have some sun, and more sun on the way. Into the events. Oh, hang on, I didn't get my event cubes out. Well, that certainly makes this draw a lot easier. I know I'm going to have some snow, so let's take care of that first. And it's going to do 4 stations worth, so that would be here. And then here, and I believe that's the end. Then it's going to dig, also 4. So these guys come right back out, along with all of these and all of these. And finally, laying track. And again, that is always the most painful part, because there's only 1 track left in the game. I don't know if I can salvage it in time. So these guys go back for next turn. Alright, you would think by now I would have this down. Oh, I was going to activate this card during my last stockyard action. I'm going to do it now. I will grab one of these and one of these. Alright, we're getting some interesting decisions now. I am definitely going to get my extra man, and I'm going to gather with him once. I will certainly be converting, and I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this last man. I think I will blast out a space. So, first, visit the stockyard. I will grab a iron, then a coal, and a rock. I will convert 9 iron into 3 bars. And finally, I will be dynamiting this space, so these all go to the supply. But then I've still got 3 more left, so I will excavate these 3 here. That's good. That's going to help me fulfill some of my contracts. In addition to that, I can spend any resources that I want to build into some of these spots. Well, I guess now we'll find out if it was enough. Do the weather. Work rate goes down. More rain at the end of the game. We do our draw. Let's see if it was enough. Oh, game's not over yet. So, we get some snow, and it looks like it snows here, here, and way back down here. I'm in a bit of a pickle with my contracts. I can't quite get in there to dig out that last one, and I don't know if it's worth struggling very hard to grab it or not. I think it would probably be a bad idea not to. So instead of one of these build actions, I'm going to dynamite instead. So, off we go. Going to build with 1 iron bar into this station. Then I'm going to blow out all of these, and then dig 3 more. So, alright, let's see what that did. Honestly, hasn't been that much snow in this scenario. And we go to the bag, and I think this might end the game right now. Not quite. Yep, that's it. That's going to be the end of the game. Well, 1 more round anyway. So, these come back. The game digs out the last of the rubble. And we lay track, which flips that piece over. So, I get 1 more round, and I believe I'm going to build 2 times. Oh, the math. It's making my head hurt. I think I am actually going to grab a contract instead. So, goodness. That is a difficult decision. Well, I think I worked it out where I can squeeze some extra points. I am going to build with this guy into this 9 spot. So to do that, I'm going to need all 6 of my rock plus 4 rubble that I can turn into rock with this contract, plus old pepper sass, which gives me 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is exactly enough to build into this space. Then I will grab this contract, which makes it impossible to fulfill this or this, but I couldn't have anyway. So, alright, let's total up the points. Alright, so looking around, I got 70 points from all of my stations, a lowly 9 points from my track. I got 60 points from my contracts, and look at this. My man actually gets to slide all the way down, whee, to the last station, which gives me 11 points. And that makes for a grand total of 159, which is not a terrible score. I have to say, up until about halfway into the game, I thought I was doing pretty good. And then it felt like everything fell apart. It doesn't look like it did. I mean, 159 is not a terrible score. But, yeah, it just felt like it completely slipped out of my grasp at this point. There was a turn or two where I didn't take resources, and that, to me, it felt like that was the worst part. It's a fun scenario. I think the snow is still a little bit confusing with where it can and can't be placed. But in the end, it tends to not be much of an issue because it just gets dug right out immediately anyway. Dynamite is always fun. I mean, you can't go wrong with explosives. So in the pantheon of Snowdonia scenarios, this is definitely not at the top. That distinction goes to the next scenario, the Daffodil Line, which I'll be playing tomorrow. So, I hope to see you then. Safe travels!